flavor for your ear. Epic Spotlight. Putting the spotlight on positive goings on the real people that have chosen a real path. The who's, the whys, and the hows are being shared and given to you.
And we're back, and we got another one. But before we get going, we first have to take care of some housekeeping notes. This episode today is sponsored by Epic Mortgage. Whether you're buying, refinancing, or investing, call Epic today. That's 708-905-5300. That's 708-905-5300. That's your dreams, your goals. Let's plan together. Now on with the show. Today is a special day. We have two people today, which is awesome. Today we have Samir and Darlene Rashed, the dynamic duo behind Crefco Financial Group. With over 27 years in the mortgage industry, they built a reputation for their commitment to educate, uplift, and inspire communities through homeownership. Their journey began with the purchase of their first home in their early 20s, sparking a passion for helping others achieve the dream of homeownership. Samir transitioned from corporate sales to become a loan officer, with Darlene following suit after a distinguished 26-year corporate career. For the past 15 years, they've been partners at Crefco Financial Group, where their expertise in real estate and dedication to customer satisfaction have driven success. Married for 30 years, their commitment to each other's extends to their shared mission of making a positive impact in their community. Welcome, Samir and Darlene.
Thank you, Dante, for having us.
Hey, not a problem. Not a problem. So, what separates Crefco Financial Group, from other mortgage brokers and other lenders just in the Ohio area?
It's such a great question. And Darlene and I, we talk about this a lot because we're very passionate about what we do. So just like our motto, we educate, inspire, uplift communities through homeownership. And we do that by way of extreme education. The one thing that we really found out when we started Crefco Financial Group, there's a lack of education on just the mortgage process, just the ABCs of mortgage. So some of the things that we do differently, we may take more time with the consumer in-house, over the phone, video. And we know through trial and error with dealing with other companies, they necessarily don't do that. There's a one size fits all. Maybe it's just a phone call. Hey, here's the application. So I think we we cater to every consumer, and one size that does not fit all. So I think that really sets us apart from everyone else. And Darlene's going to chime in with some of her good stuff as well.
Yeah, the only thing that I would just add would be, like you said in the intro, we educate, we uplift, we inspire, but we do it through humanizing the customer experience. So we've been through it before, and we know how it is to get your first home and not have an understanding of the process. So when we first started in the business, when Samir first started in the business, the number one thing is we don't want people to go through what we went through. So we really took the time to really, make it real. So it's not that, hey, like back in the day, years ago, when you're getting a mortgage, our lenders, Samir can attest to this, it was 1, 2, 3, and it was pretty cut and dry, and it was just Q&A, and there was nothing about who I am or what I'm trying to achieve or what my goals are. And so we actually do that. We try to help people, from start to finish, with education and humanizing it so that they feel comfortable and we can help them get to the finish line.
I was so excited today to have you guys on because obviously I'm a mortgage broker just like you guys. And I wanted to hear about, just your approaches on how you deal with customers. And I love hearing everything that I'm hearing. And that's similar to the acronym. If you break down EPIC, it's empowering people within our community. And
Love
that's
that.
really what we have to do is the education piece and really humanizing people. I love that, Darlene. I love that. Now, obviously, we're going through some current economic, what is the climate in Ohio per se? Obviously things are changing, inflation, how are you seeing some of those effects to your customers and how are you helping people navigate that?
Yeah, that's such an interesting question because it's something that we talk about every day. Because when you're boots on the ground and you're dealing with a lot of customers that we're going to throw a number out, the $50,000 a year customer, that's an ideal customer 4 years ago. But today, that's not as ideal. And here's the reason. The median home price, I think last quarter was 388,000. So for Ohio, in order for you to get a decent move-in ready house, you're going to be somewhere at about 200K and up. So the data shows us if someone's making about 50,000, maybe possibly they can get into a house at about 150. And the reason for that is the debt to income is a little higher now because the interest rates are a little higher. So it's really putting a strain on that, single mom or someone that's just bringing in about 50K in their household. So for Ohioans, it's really, really been a struggle for them. So our data also tells us that if you're making anywhere from 60 and up, then you don't have an issue going to 200K. You're probably capped out at about 240, 250, but they don't have as much issues as, that lower level borrower that's making about 50K. So the way we navigate through that, Dante,
Hmm.
is, educating folks. And maybe, you can't buy a home right now. And maybe it's more prudent that you do rent. But however, we're going to have you do some things or take some steps so we can prepare you for when hopefully this tidal wave subsides, then you'll be more prepared to, throw your hat in the ring and get ready to really realize your dream of home ownership.
Yeah, so we actually follow what Samir said at the beginning. It's not a one size fits all. We have a diverse customer base of people that may be ready, may not be ready, are credit challenged. So we'll set them up with, here's some education on how you can get prepared for when the market turns in your favor. So we always talk about when do you know when it's the right time to buy? And that is when you know that you can afford it. And so we'll set them up with a plan. We'll talk about where you are right now and where you'd like to be and how we can help get you there. And so, of course, right now, the people that are in most dire straits are the ones that are credit challenged, income challenged. They can't keep up with what's going on right now in the market. So, we, again, just kind of stack onto that education. We do a lot of educational videos and a lot of educational consultations to help our customers get prepared for, we know we're not going to see 2020 again or post pandemic again, the rates where they were, but we can help them plan because in the end, we still believe that buying is much better than renting. So we try and help people kind of spark that energy to get them going and planning towards their future.
Now, in Ohio, do you see a lot of multi-unit buildings like in the metropolitan area or in the suburbs? Because I know you could use the rental income, so I was just curious. Is that a play for you guys?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's
Okay.
and I don't think we see as much, not in the suburbs, but I believe you're in Illinois, so you probably see a plethora of multi units in suburban and in urban areas. But yeah, we do see that a lot, and some folks, Dante, they don't want to do that. It's like,
Right.
no, hey, I don't want to manage people. I don't want to live in a duplex and someone else is upstairs and I don't know who this person is. But I would say 50% of the time though, especially the millennials and now the zillennials, they love that play. So we've been seeing that a lot because it's a smart play. You have someone else paying your mortgage, it's your entry point, and then you can just do your house stacking. So we love
Exactly.
that.
And
Yeah.
then what about co-signing? I know that's been a hot topic too. Just overall, like what you're referencing the 50,000, 60,000 year wage earner having that difficulty because prices have gone up and have risen. Have you talked about like a co-signer or someone maybe like a mom or dad co-signing for a person? Is that an option?
Yeah, that's such a great question. It's an option that we use a lot because they may be in the home with their parents now. Their parents want to help them get their start. So doing co-signing to get you into your first home is always our first play, especially if you can't, debt to income ratio. So to answer your question, yes, definitively, we do that pretty often.
Awesome. Now, obviously, when we have a buyer and they qualify, they're pre-approved, and we want to give them the best experience, what does Crefco kind of do as far as, kind of walk me through what's that best experience? How do we separate ourselves? Because we're obviously, it doesn't matter what metropolitan area that you're in, you're always competing. There's another broker, there's another big box bank. So
Sure.
what's that experience like, working with Crefco?
Yeah, we are very hands-on, and our number one focus is really total alignment from end to end. So, as you know, Samir and I, we're a married couple. We also kind of treat our business the same way. We are interchangeable when it comes to our client base, whether it is someone he's bringing in or someone that I'm bringing in and handling and managing, even our team. We're all kind of in lockstep together from beginning to end in alignment with making sure that the home buying process for any given client is done the same way. But again, not one size fits all, but efficient, timely communication. So at the very beginning, we want to make sure that our flow is consistent. So as we're giving you an overview of the process, you're hearing the next step, and we're going to continue with that with updates along the way. Whether it be me checking in with a client or even Samir. Our interchangeability, I like to think of it as, man, we're married for 30 years. I always say this, but it doesn't compare really. We're not the same people, but we complement each other and we complement the clients that way as well. So you're going to get this same process from beginning to end, even as you're working with our processor. So it's always the same alignment. Samir, chime in, add anything, total transparency from beginning to end. We're educating is most important along the way. So we're educating you about what to expect with the appraisal process, what to expect with homeowners insurance, what to expect when you get to the closing table. We come back to you at the very end. And it may seem like, wow, this is overwhelming. But honestly, we actually try and keep it to really 3 strong phone calls of education to the client. And then, of course, they're reaching out to us along the way. We're advising them, hey, if you are out there ready to make an offer, reach out to us so that we can crunch those numbers, make sure that you feel comfortable, make sure your DTI is where we talked about and you are fit for that particular property. So, we go over things along the way just to make sure that we know if we gave you this pre-approval up front, we know and we guarantee that by the time we get you to the end, you're closing on this property.
Yeah, that's such an eloquent way of putting it. But I think for us and probably for you, Dante, we're I don't know, we're always looking for great customer service. So if we go to a restaurant and you were treated really well, you just feel differently because we went to this other restaurant a month ago and the customer service was horrible. So, why is that? And I think a lot of the restaurants now, because they're technology driven, some of them, they put the little thing on the table, you put your card in, and then you don't even see your, waiter or waitress anymore. And I don't like that feel. So what we do, we take some of what we get out in the outer world and we try to bring it in. It's like, hey, we have technology, but that's not going to replace that human touch. So us really meshing both really makes it different and it makes it worthwhile for the customer. And to be honest with you, for for us too. The team members, they love doing it that way also.
Yeah,
That's
we're
awesome.
like Dante. I'll just add, a lot of times we kind of refer to ourselves as your quasi lawyer or your quasi doctor. You can give us a call. We're here to support you. We're here to help you. We're your go-to people, and we're your one-stop shop. So feel free to reach out to us for all those things that you need. But again, I'll go back to it's not a one size fits all. You probably had that client, just like we have, who's got that high credit score, who's been through this time and time again. They're buying yet another home, their next primary home. They don't need all of the things that they would normally get. So you're going to give them what they need, and you have to tailor that conversation to that person. And that's what we do. We try to make sure when we need to be fully hands on, we are there. If we need to kind of step back and we know you got it because of your experience, it's okay because we've been in both positions.
No, that's awesome. I mean, you're customizing the experience based on your consumers. So, I mean, I think that's the great approach. I mean, that's what we try to do here as well. So, that's great. What are some of the misconceptions though that buyers maybe have when they come to you that from the education stand piece have to debunk? What are some of those things?
Yeah, we'll get some first-time home buyers that'll contact us and say, "Hey, Samir, Darlene, I'm really not ready yet because I don't have 20% to put down." We get that a lot. So, debuting those myths, obviously, because we have various programs that, are available that can actually dispel those myths. And as we're educating the consumer through the process, they're amazed because everything that they've read says that they need 20% down. So you have to go more in depth and explain that 20% down piece where you don't have to do PMI if you're going conventional, et cetera. But that's the main one. The second one is I really don't want to go through this stuff because I've heard, closing on a mortgage is like 60, 90 days. And I just don't even want to be frustrated. So when we share with the consumers that we can get, a loan done in 7 days, 14 days, and even the good old standard, 30 days, a lot of them are really, amazed at that process as well. But we always share with them too. We love using the 7 and 14-day example because we try to use that to our advantage. And here's an example. Hey, Miss Jones, I don't think we did anything special, to get your loan done in 7 to 14 days. It was because of you. You listened in the beginning. You allowed us to educate you. You provided us with all the documentation we need to ensure that you're going to have a smooth closing. So our reviews match our experience, so on and so forth. And then I think all the way to closing, everyone's extremely happy because of the education piece and what to expect next. And I think that that helps us very well in our business.
Yeah. Yep. We start with really two major things, and they're very simple in the most simplified manner, how to get started and how to get pre-approved. And those are the two most important things that you need upfront. And we simplify that process for them so that they're not overwhelmed. They understand what those two things mean, and then it carries throughout the process. So, and then each stage we go through the next level. So we just kind of simplification is the name of the game with us. We're not overwhelming. We talk in layman's terms. Samir's example, I'm going to talk to you as if, we're all kindergartners here. And if we need to be at that level, that's where we're going until we graduate, So it's actually a really good process that's worked for us.
No, that's great. Keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Hey, so, just trying to get some ideas over here as well. What trends are you guys seeing in the marketplace? What are some of the things that you're noticing that, hey, things are shifting a little bit? And how is, just you guys preparing yourselves, as Crefco Financial?
Yeah. We really try and stay ahead of the game. Lots of research, heads down time, really kind of looking and listening to what's going on out in the market, out in the industry. Technology is big. Artificial intelligence is big. Everybody's moving to AI. So, what can we do? How can we leverage those tools? How can we, make sure that we stay ahead? And we do that all the time. We feel like we were well equipped in 2020 to kind of work from home where everybody, was kind of in disarray. So we've always kind of been 2 steps ahead of everything. And we kind of, are passionate about doing that with being able to be digital, fully digital. But again, not a one size fits all. You may have that older client who is just not with it. So we're flexible too. But having the flexibility for ourselves as well to be able to service you wherever and from wherever is key for us.
Yeah, and what I'm saying too, Dante, and you can attest to this. There's no way 20 years ago you would ever imagine closing a loan in 7 or 14 days. That was like, are you kidding me?
Right.
So it seems that technology is going to enable us to do it even faster, just because you have the VOI requirement now with Fannie and Freddie and FHA, USDA, and VA. They take a little longer to catch up. So once they catch up, then I think we'll be doing a lot of loans much quicker, especially if they can figure out the asset verification part.
Right.
I know you can attest to that one, because sometimes it's just we will have to save another podcast just for bank statements.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, those are a lot of the trends that we're seeing. Like Darlene said, artificial intelligence, obviously, seeing the capability or the possibility of mortgages to be closed even faster. So we just have to make sure that we stay abreast on all of that stuff, because what we implemented last year may not even be relevant.
May not even be relevant. Yeah.
So just trying to stay ahead of the game, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And simplify always. You can have the biggest tool stack, multiple tool stacks, and, on top of tools and resources. But again, we want to keep it simple down to, we reevaluate things every year. And sometimes, we have to do that quarterly with change, but it's always keep it simple and make sure that it's very smooth and our flow works.
No, that's awesome. Can you provide your contact information for all those Ohioans that want to buy a house?
Yeah. Well, number one, I would say get educated with us and follow us on social media, all social media channels at CFG Ohio. And then you can find us on the web at CFG. What is it?
Right.
CFGOhio.com. Yes, all these different acronyms and stuff. So yeah, so it's easy to check us out. But if you want just some education, although we're based in Ohio, we get a lot of people who reach out to us from other states with just questions. We get a lot of DMs with just advice that people are asking of us. So we don't just kind of stick within Ohio. We're kind of broad based, and we like that. We like hearing from different people in different states reaching out to us for guidance and direction. And if we're able to help, just a few people to get into a home, we're happy with that. That's our passion.
No, it's great. And I can attest to that because obviously me and Samir, and I started going through the videos. I was like, wow, okay. I picked up a couple nuggets. So I appreciate all the knowledge that you guys have been able to pass. And I'm sure you're going to be able to help more and more customers as we move on this year.
Thank you, Dante.
Thank you
very
Dante.
much.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Hey, not a problem. Hey, have a great day, epic day, and we'll have to continue this conversation later.
Okay, sounds good, Dante.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
The who's, the whys, and the hows are being shared and given to you. Epic Spotlight, baby. A new flavor for your